Alrighty guys, I'm Casey and welcome to a brand new episode of Into the Farlands. In the last episode I talked about being homeless, I believe, or did I talk about something else? I feel like I talked about being homeless. And this episode I want to talk about something different. I want to talk about Beggar and Dopey. And who are Beggar and Dopey? Well, they are my dogs. So at the end of the last episode, we actually got ourselves a little dog look. And I do own two dogs. And I want to tell you my story of owning dogs throughout my life. And just bring you up to speed on who my two dogs are. And I will try to put a picture of them on the thumbnail if I remember. So you can see what my dogs look like. But yeah, I haven't been uploading recently because I've just been super busy, by the way. And I did have some videos already pre-recorded. I've recorded over the past couple of weeks, but I haven't uploaded. So if things aren't like going accordingly to plan, you know why, because things happen. But anyway, let's talk about my dogs. So the very first dog that I ever had was a dog called Colt. And I don't know what breed it was. It was kind of like one of them. It's like what you'd call a posh dog, I would say. It was a very fluffy dog. I really have no idea what breed it was. I don't know my breeds of dogs too well. And I feel like it's already getting night. I feel like we should invest in some equipment this episode, actually. So let's do that. Let's do that because I want to definitely be heading away from spawn. And TFC has a compass, and I recently saw that and thought, you know what? That's actually a golden idea. So maybe we should get ourselves a compass. But yeah, so the very first dog that I ever remember having was a dog called Colt. And I would only be about, I don't know, maybe about 3 or 4 when this dog was actually put down. It was put down due to age, unfortunately. It was quite old. And do you mind pushing me about, mister? It was a quite old dog, and it had seen better days, and its time was up. But yeah, so I never really had a dog after that growing up. It wasn't even my dog, it was my nan's dog. But we were very close to my nan, so... is there anything else that I want to get rid of? I don't really need the sugarcane. I don't need the saplings. We'll keep the feathers for whatever reason. We don't need the arrows. But yeah, so I never really had a dog growing up. We had a lot of cats. We had a lot of rabbits. But back in my teenage years, I started deciding that I wanted a dog. And so I begged my mom, and I begged my mom, and I begged my mom for a dog. And after many months, she finally relented, I think just to shut me up. Unfortunately, the dog that I wanted was way out of the price range. I actually wanted a Great Dane. But instead, we ended up getting a German Shepherd or an Alsatian, depending on, from what I gather, it's from what side of the border you're on. But it was a pedigree. It was a pure-bred German Shepherd or Alsatian. Buddy, you've got a 6. You're pushing me down this faster than I want to go down it. We need a little bit of redstone for a compass. But yeah. And we got this dog as a pup. And I made the bad decision of actually choosing the very shy pup. The pup that kind of sat at the back. I felt sorry for him. And this dog ended up becoming a very vicious and violent dog. It thought that my mom was his property. Property? Where did that word come from? Property. And I couldn't be in the kitchen with my mom. We kept the dog in the kitchen and I couldn't be in the kitchen. If I was on my own with this dog was perfectly fine. But if I was in the room with my mom, or anyone was in the room with my mom, he would just immediately go for that person. And oddly enough, I actually, despite the many battles I had with this dog as a kid, and quite a lot of viciousness that I received from this dog, and the amount of times that I had blood just dripping from my arms because of this dog, was unreal, and I have one scar. My arms show just one scar from all that. So I'm very fortunate there. But anyway, because of how violent this dog was and how aggressive this dog was, and I'll probably talk more in detail about this dog in a future video, but it's not the subject of this video. The subject of this video is Dopey and Beggar. But because of this, I was always very heavily against having dogs. And my wife agreed with me. She was like, I understand that you had a troubling childhood with dogs. I didn't. I had very loving dogs, very caring dogs, and I really want a dog. but I understand that you may not want a dog given your circumstances. And is that a spawner? No, but there is some iron here. Okay, we need to make some torches. There we go. And I just realized I don't actually have a bed. I definitely hear a skeleton. Hello, there he is. So yeah, but my wife kept begging for a dog and that, but she was completely understanding of the fact that I really didn't want one. And eventually, she convinced me to give a dog a try. She knew someone who was getting rid of a dog. This dog was already fully grown, it was fully trained, and she convinced me that, hey, you know what, we'll give it a week. I lasted 3 days. The dog was, I can't remember what breed it was. It wasn't a German Shepherd, but it strongly resembled a German Shepherd. It very much resembled it. It was a very boisterous dog. It used to jump up a lot, and because of that, I grew scared of the dog. And I told my wife, like, you know, I really can't do this. I'm sorry. And that really, really upset my wife so much that I actually said, you know what, okay, we'll have the dog. But by the time I'd agreed to it, 'cause my wife, she's one of the people that doesn't say what's on her mind immediately. She's like, she understands what I was saying, that I was scared of this dog, and that I didn't want it. So she didn't go like, oh, you know, I really do want it. She was like, okay, you've tried. Very well, I'll move on. And anyway, well, I actually have the resources necessary to make a iron pick. Anyway, when she finally did talk to me about it and I decided to give it another try, the dog had already been given to another home. So we didn't have that dog in the end. But about a month after that, my wife came to me and says, hey, look, same person's going on holiday. And they are not taking one dog because this dog gets travel sick. And would you mind if we looked after it for what was originally supposed to be a weekend? And I said, yeah, okay, sure, we'll look after this dog for the weekend. The weekend turned into 1 week and then turned into 3 weeks. But yeah, anyway. During this period, I didn't really bond with the dog too much. And it wasn't for any particular reason. It's just that I wasn't a dog person. I was busy doing YouTube, and I just didn't have the time for a dog. But it had this moment. It had this specific moment where I think it missed its original owners. That's what I think, anyway. Wow, Redstone takes an age to mine. Because it was just super depressed. And I've battled depression in the past. And I know what it's like to be depressed. Now, I've got to see if I can remember the recipe for a compass. I think it's just one piece of redstone, isn't it? Yes, it is. Okay, cool. Oh, I forgot about that. Okay, so I really don't need this cobblestone, or these bones, or this sand, or this dirt. And we can combine that together. Let's pick up the... Actually, I need to make a bed. Because I don't have one for this episode. But yeah, as I was saying, this dog had this moment where it was just really depressed. And it seemed, for whatever reason, that I was a good substitute for their owner, and it became very attached to me. It wouldn't leave my side. The dog followed me everywhere. And I started growing attached to this dog. And anyway, we saw it back off home, and that was that. I didn't think too much of it. The dog's in my way. But then my wife comes to me shortly after we separated. So my wife and I, we separated just to, for those of you who don't know, we did separate. And eventually we got separate places. And we're still very close, still good friends and whatnot. And maybe one day something will work out between us. Maybe it won't. So that's the way that I came from, isn't it? Yes. So I need to be, so this needs to be pointing away. Okay, cool. But yeah, so she was like, okay, I'm getting this flat. I don't know if I'm allowed pets, but they're getting rid of dogs and I really, really want it. Would you look after it until I sign my lease and whatnot? And I was like, okay, I'll do that. I'll do that. It'll be a couple of weeks. And it turns out that she wasn't allowed pets. But the landlord changed over, and it was possible that maybe she would be allowed pets, but it turned out that the new landlords kept the policy of no pets. And so she wasn't able to take the dog there. And by this point, I'd had the dog about a month. And this is Beggar. Her name's Kita, and she is an Akita type. She is a female dog. And for a first dog, she is... Did I pick up my bed? I did. She is probably the greatest first dog you could imagine. The girl has never had an accident in the house. She is very well trained. She lays down on command. She doesn't sit on command, but she gives paw on command. You can put your hand in her food bowl while she's eating, and she doesn't snap at you. She doesn't growl at you. She doesn't get mad with you or anything like that. I've only heard this dog actually growl at my other dog and bark when someone knocks at the door. I've never actually known this dog to bark just for the sake of barking. She's only ever barked in defense of the house, which is, in my opinion, acceptable. Come here, I want the wool. I have no idea how many beds this is going to take. But yes, anyway. Great first dog. And I really grew attached to this dog. And then the person who got rid of this dog, I should mention that this Kita dog was the same dog we looked after for my friend while they was on holiday. It's the same dog that we looked after on holiday while they went on holiday for the weekend that turned into 3 weeks. And it's a great first dog. But I started growing attached to this dog. I was very adamant, no dogs upstairs when I got her. That adamancy went from being no dogs upstairs to being, okay, no dogs in the bedrooms. No dogs on the bed. No dogs on the quilt. So I'm adamant that I will not let my dogs on my actual bedding, but I have a blanket that I put over my bedding for my dogs to go on. And that's just because they get a lot of dirt, and I am very, very iffy about stuff like this. I didn't even... When I was with my wife, I was like, if you're getting in bed, you're putting some other clothes on. You're not wearing the clothes that you've been in all day. Like, she'd go for a nap, and I'd be like, whatever you do, don't go in bed with your clothes on that you've been thingying, you know. Put some fresh ones on. I'm very, very funny with my bedding like that. So they'll never go on the actual bedding, but they've got a blanket now that they go on top of the bed. But anyway. Ooh. What of this don't I need? So I can get some more food while we're here. I suppose I genuinely... I can always get a furnace again. I can always get some of that. I can always get some of that. I don't need this. The leather might come in handy. I think all of this may come in handy at some point. Apart from that arrow. That arrow will not come in handy. But I grew attached to this dog. And then I found out that, hey... Said people who got rid of this dog. They also got rid of the first dog that I said no to. By the way. They're same people. They were getting rid of another dog. A Labrador by the name of Pongo. This is Dopey. Okay, this is the dog that I call Dopey. Because he is one dopey dog. But they were getting rid of him. And I was like, well, you know what? I'll have him. I've grown attached to Kita. And Kita was supposed to be my wife's dog. But I have made the decision that there is no way that I am giving Kita back to my wife. Because I've grown attached to that dog. So my wife really wants a dog. She wasn't attached to Kita. So I thought, well, you have Pongo. I'll have Kita. And they can stay here up until you find either a place that can have dogs or your landlords allow dogs there, whatever it be. You know, I don't mind looking after them for a couple of months, a couple of years, whatever it be. And this dog is a Labrador. And he is a very, very beautiful dog. The Kita dog, I don't think is a very pretty dog. They're not my kind of dogs. But this dog is a very beautiful dog. It's nice and... It's a short-haired Labrador. And I'm going to buy a high-vis jacket for it so I can get away with all stuff. You know, because they're supposed to be service dogs, aren't they? But anyway, he's an absolute treat. He really, really is. But he was a puppy and still is for the most part. He's only about 4 or 5 months old. You know, they got this dog back in January. That's how old he is. He was born just after Christmas. The owners took him home. My friend took him home in January. And then I got him in, I think it was like the March. So he's still very much a pup, and he has doubled in size since I have had him. And he's a very, very, very boisterous dog. He loves jumping up you. He's very, very loving in that way, but he's not snappy. He doesn't jump up like snapping at your face. And because of that, I don't mind it. And he's very bitey. He likes to play a lot. He's a pup. He's going to want to play a lot. But he doesn't bite to the point where it hurts, you know. If he starts to get a little bit rough and I go, ow, he stops. Straight away stops. And he will wait for you to either throw the next blow or start the next tickle, whatever it be that I do to continue the fight with him. He will wait. He's very, very understanding like that, but he is Dopey. So I am incredibly mean to this dog in my wife's words. Apparently I am uber cool. My wife says it, and my two closest friends say it, and my daughter says it. Because when I first got this dog, and it used to drink water, I've got this huge, like, it's a storage tub that you're supposed to store stuff in, but it was the only thing I had to put water down for them. So I put water down in this. And it's big enough for the dog to fully submerge its head in it. And Dopey, Pongo, the Labrador, used to lap this water up and then dunk his head. And so I thought it would be funny one day while he's lapping the water up just to go up to him and dunk his head in it. And I tell you now, his response, he didn't look up at me like, why did you do that? He didn't even stop me dunking his head. He just continued as if it was completely normal and that I hadn't done anything. And so when I see him lapping his water, I'll just go up behind him and I'll just dunk his head. I don't hold his head down. I want to make that perfectly clear. I do not hold his head under the water or anything like that. It's just a quick dunk his head underneath it. And I find it amusing, though just his reaction. But everyone calls me cruel for it. Maybe I am. But he is a dopey dog. And this dog does not walk. I actually think that maybe he's got something wrong with his hips, because you know the old song about the duck where he waddled away? That's what my dog does. He waddles. You know, he when he walks, his booty swings back and forth. He full on shakes that thing. He's twerking as he's walking. And, you know, the dog that I had as a teenager, when it used to eat his food, he would do what I assume most dogs do, what the norm for most dogs do, and that's stand at their bowl eating their food. My Akita dog stands at her bowl and eats her food. My Labrador, Dopey, nope. He'll start standing at his bowl eating his food, then he'll just decide, you know what, I'm just gonna sit down and eat my food. And he will sit there and just eat his food. And his most recent trick, the most recent thing this dog has started doing, is giving me paw. Now this isn't like, oh, I'll give you paw so I can get a treat, or I want you to hold my paw. No, this is you stroke the back of my head, that means I must use my paw to stroke the back of your head. And he will stroke the back of my head. And for some reason, I have no idea why, but since I've had this dog, any trip to the bathroom has been an entourage of me going up, then the Labrador following me up, and then the Kita dog getting jealous and she following me up too, and I am sat there in the bathroom with both dogs. A bath in the bath results in them deciding that my bath water tastes nice enough to drink. But all of a sudden, for no reason at all, I think it was yesterday, maybe the day before, Dopey has decided the bathroom is evil. It is everything evil in this world, and that dog refuses to go in that bathroom for whatever reason. He will not step foot in my bathroom anymore. I've no idea why. At first I thought, oh, I've done my yearly thing where I go ahead and dump a bottle of white vinegar down the toilet to try and eat away any lime scale that I can't see or whatnot. I thought, oh, he's probably not liking the smell of vinegar. But I've cleaned the toilet, flushed the toilet, and the smell of vinegar is completely gone from that bathroom. So it was not that. And I genuinely have no idea why he has suddenly decided that my bathroom is everything evil in this world. And he will sit there at the door, and if you try and get him to come in, he will not come in. And he will start clawing at you to get out of the bathroom. I don't know. I have no idea why. I have no idea what's going on with him in that bathroom. Like I said, he's a dopey dog. He really, really is. Was that the third night? No, that was the second night, wasn't it? Yes. Yes, that was the second night. We still got one more night to go. Oh, if I'm wrong, we've got an additional night in it. But anyway, no, because I started the recording at it's about 20 past 7 now. So I started the recording at about 7. So no, that would have been the second night, yeah. Anyway. This dog, his name's Pongo. He is an adorable dog. He really, really is. He is a really lovely dog, and I wouldn't be without him now. I've really grown attached to him. And it took me 2 days to potty train this dog, literally. The first night that I had him, I left him downstairs. He wouldn't come up past my stairs. He'd get halfway up my stairs to where my stairs turned, and then he just wouldn't come up anymore. And I picked him up and I carried him up into the bedroom to lay on the bed at the bottom of the bed with the other dog. This was before I let the dogs actually on the bed. And he just bolted downstairs. He didn't like being upstairs. So, I have no idea why. But I came down to, and I'm not exaggerating here, 8 piles of dog poop. 8. I wondered at first how much a dog can poop. But I have since watched this dog poop. This dog does not poop in one place. This dog will go down the garden. He will crouch down and he will have a poop. About halfway through this poop, he will decide, you know what, I don't like this spot anymore. I'm going to take about 10 steps forward and continue said poop. And he will do this about 5 or 6 times for one poop. Now, thankfully, I was in the process of replacing my living room carpet, and when I knew I was getting a puppy, I postponed replacing my living room carpet because I kind of figured that I was going to face this issue with the dog. I was like, you know, I'm going to just anticipate just in case. They did say he was potty trained, but he clearly was not potty trained for whatever reason. Maybe he didn't know where the bathroom was at my place or whatever reason. Anyway, it took a matter of days to potty train him, just 2. I have not had an accident since, or not a major accident. He has had a couple of little tinkles here and there, but it's not been a full-on, like, he's weed. It's more been, I've been gone for a couple of hours, I've come back home and he's been excited to see me and he's ended up dribbling a little bit. That's pretty much what it has been. Like I said, he's a pup, he gets excited, dogs tend to wee when they get excited. And he's a male dog. He is a male dog. So when you take him out on walks, the male dog is supposed to cock his leg at every single lamppost and scent his way back home. Nope. This dog will go the entire walk without scenting once. And peeing, when this dog wants to urinate, cocking a leg, nah. That's for amateur dogs. Nah, he just crouches. He just literally, well, I shouldn't say crouches. He leans forward on his front legs and then pees with absolutely no effort whatsoever. Just stands there. And he will not pee if you are watching him from the door. If you let him out, he will look at you until you move away from the door and then go pee. He didn't used to be like that, but I think it's been all the times he's followed me to the bathroom and I've tried to send him out the bathroom. You know, I'm 28 years old. I've been going to the toilet for about 26 years, I want to say, on my own. I was in and out of hospital as a kid, and I didn't need help going to the toilet then. I don't need help going to the toilet now, but he still offers help nonetheless. But yes, so, incredibly dopey dog, and I wouldn't be without the dog. I really have taken to these dogs. I really do love these dogs. I'm not sure how I feel about this dog. Not sure how I feel about that one. That one like seems to have it in for me, pushing me about, trying to murder me. No, but Get back here. Yes. And these dogs they have recently taken to getting smart with me. Getting smart with me and with one another. So, I don't let the dogs around me when I'm eating. I'm very, very fussy with eating, and I like to either eat on my own or eat with people I trust. And I will get put off my food with pretty much anything. People, they can't belch around me or, let go of wind around me while I'm eating. If they do, I give up eating. And I can sort of say to my friends, hey, you know what, if you need to part with wind, can you go outside and do it while we're eating? And they will be like, yeah, that's okay, that's no problem. I, however, cannot tell a dog that. I mean, I can, but the dog's just going to look at me and cock its head and go like, what's he saying? And I'm going to sound like gibberish to the dog. So I tend to keep them out of the room. And I just can go out and they will leave the room. But every couple of minutes or so, one of the dogs will come and look at me. Just cock their head shyly round the door, look at me, and if I go no, they will go back. And if one comes and goes back, then it's only a few seconds later that the other one decides to come. And they take it in turns. And you just picture, it's like when you're a kid, you watch all those cartoons. You go and check, see if it's okay. Can we go in yet? You go check. No, you go check. I did last one. I wouldn't be without these dogs. I am not a dog person, and I never ever thought that I would ever see the day that I actually owned a dog that wasn't a Great Dane. I always wanted a Great Dane. I always was going to buy a Great Dane, a brown Great Dane with black spots. That's what I was going to buy one day. Those dogs are insanely expensive and insanely rare, and if you're wondering what the dog is, it's Scooby-Doo, because Scooby-Doo is my favourite cartoon. I love Scooby-Doo. I always wanted a Scooby-Doo. But I was never going to have another dog. I was 10 years of being with my wife, and I always said no to a dog. I was a cat person. I grew up around cats. I love cats. I think cats are a lot less troublesome. But I wouldn't be without these dogs. I really wouldn't. I truly do love these dogs with all my heart. And I never thought I'd say that. And I'm a very affectionate person. I'm a very loving person. My best friends, when they come, I give them a hug and I welcome them to my home with a hug. When I'm speaking with my mum on the phone, I always end the conversation with, love you, mum, bye. When my mum leaves, I always give her a hug and a kiss on the top of her forehead. I'm always telling my daughter I love her. I go up to the toilet if she's in a room, love you, or if I go up to the toilet, she will shout it. I'm always giving my daughter hugs and kisses. I'm just a very affectionate person when it comes to being open about the way that I feel. It's not out of the blue for me to, when my friend gets back from the shop, just to give him a hug and say, hey, welcome back, mate. It's just who I am. I'm very physically affectionate person like that. But anyway, I've taken now to actually bringing these dogs in for hugs and hugging these dogs and saying the same thing to them, like, love you. And it sounds stupid and ridiculous because they don't understand that and they don't say it back. But I know that they feel it. Because I can't go anywhere without these dogs. Even right now, the dog next door, the next door neighbour's got 2 huskies. They're beautiful dogs, huskies are. But these dogs are also pups, and you get the standard stuff. They whine, they bark when they're outside, that kind of stuff. My pup does it as well. It's not just exclusive to them, but the Dopey dog doesn't like that. He doesn't like other dogs yelping or barking, and if he hears that, he has to go and investigate. And so he sits at the back door, whining. And if he's in here, my office faces out onto the back door. Out onto the back garden, sorry. And it's literally right next to the back door. And while I'm not picking up the husky, and I can't hear the huskies anymore in here, my dog can. So if I have my dog in here, he's going to whine and want to go back out. He's going to want to go and investigate that. And so I have had to, unfortunately, kick both my dogs out of my office while I do this. Because it's not fair to have one dog in and not the other dog. And I feel horrible for that. I caught the Labrador, the Dopey dog. I caught him in the bin. And I've had a little bit of an issue with him going through rubbish. And I'm nearing my wit's end. And I felt that I was a bit harsh on him. I raised my voice and I kicked him outside. And I left him outside for the whole duration of my tea. And I felt horrible for that. I don't know why I felt so horrible. But I did. And I'm like, I can't let him in and give him a fuss. So I let him in. And I left him for about half an hour. And then I went and gave him a fuss. So he didn't think that the fuss was a reward for being put outside. I wanted him to feel that the fuss was just to let him know that, hey, I may have had to tell you off. I may have had to be a little bit harsh on you, but I do love you. And I do. And, you know, this dog enjoys licking your face and all. Okay, chill out there, buddy. But yes, if I remember, I put a picture of both my dogs on the thumbnail for this one. I might just take a picture of them together and just use that as a backdrop as opposed to this. But I will take, oh, it's a screenshot in the morning. Can I please sleep? We're not going to get attacked by an undead, are we? I think I've lit this up adequately. Yes. But that's my dog. They're my dogs, Pongo and Kita, Dopey and Beggar. And if you're wondering why I call Kita Beggar, she gives you the puppy eyes whenever you're eating. And it's... Ooh, his health is really low. I don't have zombie flesh for you, matey, and I'm not feeding you all of this. I'm sorry. Go eat sheep. But yeah, she's a bit of a beggar, and I don't like that about her. But, you know, if that's my biggest complaint, she likes to beg for food. I got a good dog. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for this episode, guys. So if you've got any pets, regardless of what they be, they don't have to be dogs. They can be cats, snakes, tortoises, hamsters, even crabs. And these are all pets that I've owned over the course of my life. Although quite typically, most of them have been family members, current binge, and then the family members have grown bored of the pets and got rid of them, and my mum took them in. But, yeah, let me know what your pets are, what you kind of find interesting, you know? What your pets are, what your bond is with your pets, what some of your memories are with your pets. Why do you love your dog or your snake or your cat, you know? Like I said, for me, I grew attached to these dogs from being around them. And for them showing me that, hey, dogs aren't these big aggressive things like they were in my teenage years, like the dog was when I was a teenager. You know, dogs can actually be really loving and kind and caring. And for years, I've never put my face near a dog. I've always kept it away. There's been family members' dogs that I've petted and fussed, but I've always kept my face away from them. But I pull these two dogs' face right next to mine and I give them a hug. Not so sure I like you, buddy. You seem to be awfully pushy. But yeah, so that's going to call it for this episode, guys. So if you've enjoyed the video, please do consider leaving a like. It really helps out the channel, and I really do appreciate it. So please do leave that like, and click subscribe if you want to see more from me. Guys, I'm Casey. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.